Hey guys, welcome to my channel and I'm back again with another really interesting video guys. In this video again we are going to use Autotrain, and this time the Python library Autotrain to actually train Tinyllama 2 model guys, which is a 1 billion parameter open source model available in Hugging Face. So without taking any time further, let's get started. So first thing first guys, it is possible that you guys have seen my Autotrain video which I made previously, and first of all thank you so much guys for giving that video so many views and so many likes. I'm really grateful for that. But one of the comments on that video was that I actually used this Autotrain Hugging Face space to auto-train a model, and some of you guys wanted me to use actually Autotrain library to train a model, to fine tune a model, and also fine tune a larger model, something like a llama model or Microsoft V. But in this video guys we are going to use Tinyllama model, so we can quickly train it and I can quickly show you how it can be done. Okay, so another thing guys, just for the introduction, if you guys have not seen my Autotrain videos, please go ahead and watch it. I will link that in the description as well. I think that video will give you a completely no code solution for fine tuning your models. But if you are a programmer like me and you like fine tuning your model through scripts and Python and all, then this is the video for you. So let's jump right into it. So this is the screen guys, which is a Hugging Face Autotrain space. So this is our no code solution. We are not going to use it, so I'm just going to close it down. Now let's look at this guys. So if you just Google Autotrain Hugging Face Google Colab, you will actually land up in this Google Colab notebook, and you will see that Hugging Face Google Colab notebook actually just gives you a lot of things which you can use to just simply use the library. All you have to do is first of all run this, and you can see that the code is right here, which basically first of all installs the Autotrain advanced, setups the Autotrain, and then it allows you to fill this form. And the form is basically asking you project name, your model name, if you want to push this model to Hugging Face, true or false. If you actually make it true, then you have to provide the Hugging Face token, and if you actually make it false, then you don't have to provide the Hugging Face token, right? And then the repo ID. So whenever your model is going to be uploaded to Hugging Face, it will be uploaded to a certain repo, right? So what repo ID do you want to give to your model? That repo ID you can specify here. Next comes all the hyperparameters, all the training parameters like the learning date, the epochs, the batch size, the block size, etc., etc. And all these training parameters are actually stored as variables. So you can see that corresponding this form, this is the code where nothing is happening. It's just all the values that we actually mention in the form, they get assigned to these variables: project name, model name, learning rate, num epochs, right? So they just get assigned. And finally there is this one command that we are running, which is taking Autotrain LLM train model project. So it just takes all the parameters, it just takes all these parameters that you just defined before, and it is just going to run the Autotrain command, and it is going to start training your model. And one important thing here is a data path data, because right now we actually defined that okay, this is the model that I want to train, this is how it will be stored in Hugging Face with a repo ID, these are the training parameters, but nowhere we have actually specified which data set we are using or which data CSV file we are using to actually fine tune or train this model. So that data is actually present in the data folder, or you can say the folder wherever your CSV file is. You have to specify your folder here. So this data folder basically means that in my Google Colab, I actually go to this folder section and I actually have to create a data folder here, and then inside the data folder I need to upload my train.csv file, and that train.csv file is later going to be used to fine tune your model. So this is an overview guys. If you want to use Google Colab and Autotrain to actually fine tune your model. All you have to do is simply go to Google and write Google Colab notebook for Autotrain. You will eventually land up in this notebook only. And if you want, I can still put the link in the description below, just so that it becomes handy for you guys. And all you have to do is simply fill this form and just run all these cells, and it's going to do the job for you. One extra thing, that you need to create a data folder here, and inside the data folder you have to upload your train.csv file. So if I show you in my downloads here, I have a data folder, and that data folder has a train.csv file that basically I have to upload. Okay, so you can see that what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload here. Yeah, so I'm going to upload this train.csv file first of all, and then click on OK, and right click, create a new folder, name it data, and move your CSV file to the data folder. Okay, so this step you have to do, and then you can run all these cells, fill the form, run these cells, and your model will basically be trained. If you actually select push to Hugging Face, so if you select this option which is saying push to Hugging Face true, then it will be uploaded to Hugging Face hub as well. Okay, but as you can see guys, I'm actually not running the Google Colab notebook in front of you. And why am I not doing that? And why I didn't use Google Colab to actually use Autotrain? And the reason for that is guys, that although Google Colab is free, Google Colab gives you only this T4 GPU, and it only gives you 16 GB of data. Okay. Now with the T4 GPU guys, if you are using Autotrain and you are using a model such as Tinyllama, you will not be able to train it. Why? The reason is guys that for Tinyllama you actually need a mixed precision of FP16. Okay, and in a T4 GPU notebook you won't be able to use a FP16 mixed precision. So if you want to actually use Autotrain in Google Colab, you actually have to upgrade to T100. Okay, sorry, A100. So if you upgrade your Google Colab notebook to A100, and then you will be able to use the Autotrain library for with the FP16 mixed precision, and then you can actually train your Tinyllama 2 model. Okay. Because we don't have that in Google Colab as a free resource, that is why I didn't use Google Colab. And now I'm going to actually show you what is the absolutely free method to train your Tinyllama model or any of your Llama model without paying a penny to Google Colab or without upgrading to a higher Colab notebook. And the answer to that guys is actually Kaggle. So for those of you who don't know about Kaggle, just a little bit of small introduction. Kaggle.com is basically a website for data scientists guys. All your machine learning competitions, it hosts a bunch of machine learning competitions, data set competitions, and it has a lot of practice material for you to actually go ahead and start practicing your machine learning and your data science skills. And not only that guys, Kaggle provides you a way to create your own Jupyter notebooks, and these Jupyter notebooks can be used with a GPU to actually even train your model with something called as Autotrain. So that's the beauty of Kaggle guys. Now what is the advantage of using Kaggle? That Kaggle gives you GPU and it also gives you the T4 GPU, and it also gives you the A100 GPU as well. So with Kaggle you can actually use the free GPU, but this free GPU is only for 30 hours a week. So guys, if you already had your 30 hours in that week, then you won't be able to use more GPU in that particular week. You have to wait for the limit to get reset. So I would recommend that if you are using Kaggle for basically your GPU memory usages, then please keep in mind to stop the notebook once your job is done. Okay. So now I have given you enough introduction about Kaggle, guys, and I've also shown you how much advantageous it is over Google Colab for certain cases. Now let's look into it how we can actually use Autotrain. So what I have done, guys, I have just created this notebook in Kaggle, and the first block is actually very basic. It is the default block that you will get whenever you will create a Kaggle notebook. Okay. Now if you go down to the cells, you can see that whatever actual code was there in that Google Colab notebook. So you import OS, pip install, Autotrain setup. All I did was I just copy pasted those exact cells here, and I just executed them. So Autotrain setup and the pip install Autotrain, just exactly like my Google Colab notebook. The second is thing is I'm setting my project name, my model name. So you can see here, guys, that the rest of the code, which is the code of that form that HuggingFace has actually created, and that code is basically written here, right? It is just selecting my project name, model name, push to hub value, HF token, and the learning parameters. And that is exactly what I have done here. In the first cell, I am setting my project name, my model name. Second, I am setting my HuggingFace uploading parameters. And third cell, I am setting my training parameters, learning rate, mapbox, etc., etc. Remember that all the parameters here, the values are actually by default, some values are provided to you. Okay, so you don't have to change these values unless you want to, or unless you want to actually do a different kind of training. You can just use the same default values. Okay, but I'll show you in a minute that for now, let's say I have copied these values exactly same to same, and then the third step is just putting those values in your operating system parameter or your environment variables, and even that part is actually done here, pretty much, and all I have done is just copy paste that. Okay, and finally you can see that this is the Autotrain LLM command. And again, you can see the data path in here. So that is one thing, although the entire command is same, guys, this is one thing that I have changed, which is the data path. So you can see that in Google Colab, I actually created a data folder and I just uploaded my text train.csv into it. But here in Kaggle, you cannot do that. You have to upload your data set as something like clicking on upload. So once you click on upload, you will get a new data set option here. Once you click on new dataset option, you will actually get a dialog box to actually upload your file. And once you upload your file, guys, then inside your input, you will see that your dataset is here. You can name your dataset anything, and you will see the file appears which you actually uploaded in that dialog box. Okay, so I uploaded this train.csv. However, guys, this path is not the path that you get by default in Google Colab, right? So I need to copy the file path, and then I need to copy the folder path, the dataset folder path, and I have to paste it here, and this is the folder path. So that is the only thing that I have changed. Okay, and then if you just run this notebook, guys, then you can assume that everything is going to run perfectly fine. But the answer is no. That is actually not going to happen, guys. Everything is not going to go fine, because guess what? We are still using a mixed precision parameter of FP16, right? We still have used FP16 true. So we are still having this parameter, right? So now you might say that if Google Colab gives me the error of FP16, why won't Kaggle give me that error? And where is that point where I can select the GPU? So that's what I'm going to show you. So guys, if you see these three dots here, these are the settings dots. So you click on it and you will get to see an option called as accelerator. Once you click on accelerator, guys, you can see that you have got four options. First is none. So if you have selected none, it means your code will entirely run on a CPU. Second is GPU T4, and this is exactly which is provided by Google Colab, and I have already told you that in Google Colab with a free T4 you will not be able to run this because FP16 is not going to be supported. And the third option, and the option which you will actually need, is a GPU 100, GPU P100. So all you have to do, guys, when you are running this Kaggle notebook, you have to select the accelerator as GPU P100. Once you select the accelerator as GPU P100, then this notebook will start working and you will start seeing the results. So you can see that once I started my auto train, I started getting these results. Okay, I created the training arguments, I started loading the model config and blah blah blah. It started to work. Okay. However, there is one more blocker that I actually hit here, guys, and that blocker is the training data that I have used. So what was that blocker, guys? First of all, you are free to use any training data that you want. You can also load the datasets from HuggingFace datasets. So if you go to HuggingFace, guys, so let me go to HuggingFace, and if you go to datasets, then and you can just select something called as, so let's say we are using Tinyllama, right? So Tinyllama is basically a text generation model. So for a text generation model, you can use Wikipedia or anything like that, right? And you can click on use in datasets library, and all you have to do is do from dataset import load dataset, and this dataset is actually now loaded as an object, and you can use this object, convert it into a CSV file, and then have it on your machine or have it in your auto train data, this dataset folder. You can upload it in your Kaggle and you can just use that. Okay, that is one way. But what I have done, guys, I have used my own training data, and in my training data, if I will just show you what training data I am using, it is a very small Excel file which only has got like 5 or 4 rows. So you can see that this is the train.csv I am using. So it only has like 5 rows in it. So this is a very small data set, guys, and why I use this is because I just wanted to do a hit and trial of Autotrain just to teach you guys that it works. So that's why I only used a very small data set. And when I was using this small data set, guys, I was getting an error that the number of arguments, number of samples is 0 and we need a more number of samples. Okay. So that's also one problem that I face while running this notebook. And to solve this problem, guys, it was a very simple solution. Because whenever there is a problem in Autotrain, most of the time the issue is your training parameter. So all you have to do is find out which training parameter is actually causing the issue and then just fix it. So for me, because the number of sample size was actually coming out to be 0, all I have to do was make sure that my block size is very small. So my block size, I set my block size to 1. The block size by default, guys, if you see the notebook here, block size by default is actually 1024. You can see the block size by default given as 1024. But because my number of samples were so less, it could not create a block of 1024, right? So I just set my block size to 1, and that immediately solved my problem, guys, because once I fixed that and I just ran this auto train command, you can see in my Kaggle notebook that everything went perfectly. All the training, all the model files were actually successfully created, and not only that, I also was successfully able to upload this model. So the upload to HuggingFace was also successful. But if you guys don't want to upload your model to HuggingFace, you don't need to do that. If you just run this command, in case you are not uploading to HuggingFace, in your output, so you can see that Kaggle shows your output like that. You will actually see your Autotrain folder. So whatever project name, so like in my case, I gave it the project name My Autotrain. So you can see the My Autotrain folder is created. And this My Autotrain folder basically has got the entire model that you have created. All the files of that model is actually present inside this My Autotrain folder. Okay, so if you want to just use it on your Kaggle machine, you can easily use it through this folder. You don't really need to upload it to HuggingFace. Okay. So that was how I actually trained my Tinyllama 2 model with Kaggle free of cost without using Google Colab and without upgrading my Colab notebook to a A100 version. Okay. Now, just to prove the point, I will also show you the model that I actually created. So you can see that this was the repo name, Super Dozy Coder Tinyllama Fine Tune, and this is the repo that was eventually created. And you can see that it shows everything. It shows the usage, it shows the files and versions. So there are certain model card values that are automatically provided by Autotrain. So these are all present here. And if you just click on the files and versions, you will also see that all the files which are needed for actually using this model, which you will also find in the original Tinyllama model. This is just a fine-tuned version of it. You can find all those files in the files and versions as well. Okay, and yeah, so you can find all the files, you can find your model, you can go to your model card and you can actually see how this is actually working. Okay, the inference is not working here. Probably there is some issue which I might need to check, but overall guys, you can see that using Kaggle you can actually upload your model to Hugging Face. You can train your model with Autotrain pretty easily. You don't really have to pay a penny to even do any single step in that. Okay. And also one more thing guys, because Autotrain provides you a Python library, if you want to create your own application of training models, right, you can actually do that as well, because now you have got the access to library, so you can build any application around it. You don't have to use the Autotrain space. So you don't have to use the Autotrain space like here to actually use the application. You can create your own application because now you have access to the Python module. Okay, and all it needs is just very small amount of steps. So that was the video guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope you learned something from it. This was one of the requested video from you guys, so I hope that I was able to satisfy your comments. And if you did like this video guys, then please do not forget to like this video and share this video with your friends. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, feedback for me, please do write down in the comment section below. And guys, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, then please do subscribe and hit the bell icon for future notifications of more such programming and coding related videos. I'll see you guys in the next video guys. Until then, take care and bye bye.